dreams. Things that make us do something. They make this life livable. They make it worth it. As a human myself, I always dream of something. Sometimes it's just some little dreams that might come true in less than a day. Sometimes it's stuff I can't even be sure about, like starting a relationship with a specific person. Let's talk about a dream that was with me for around 4.5 years of my life. Late night car ride to Moscow. It was a period of my life when I've just discovered music streaming. I was listening to some songs I had in my playlist and suddenly I decided to check out whatever the algorithm prepared for me. And heard this song.
So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know this song. Everybody come hang, let's go out with a bang.
I liked it and added to my playlist. A bit later I realized that the name AJR seemed familiar. I opened up my playlist, scrolled down a little and saw this song.
But I'm weak, and what's wrong with that? Boy oh boy, I love it when I fall for that. I'm weak. But I'm weak, and what's wrong with that? Boy oh boy, I love it when I fall for that.
I'm not sure when exactly I added this one, but it was around 1 or 2 months before that when I was adding basically all of the songs that felt nostalgic. I gotta tell that in 2017 I heard it way too many times on the radio, but never really paid attention. I even thought it was called Weak. But let's get back to 2020. So I was using the app called Yandex Music, and that was until I got my Spotify subscription, and that's when the things changed. First of all, I finally checked out the original version of Bang. And then I started listening to daily mixes, which helped me find more AJR songs that I really liked. I remember at some point I was sitting in the kitchen and the TV was broadcasting something. I didn't really pay any attention to it until I heard and saw this. I was speechless at that moment because it wasn't like I found the song because it was playing on the TV, but more like I found the song I thought I'd never hear on the TV in Russia, but I did. And that felt so cool. I even told my mom why I was so shocked and I played a couple of AJR songs to her. Before that, I was finding AJR songs I liked only through daily mixes. But then I thought, I want to listen to their albums. Oh boy, where do I even start here? At first I thought they were all too weird for me, and I hadn't even listened to Living Room yet. But that was only until the second listening. I definitely liked Neo Theater more than other albums. That's all I can say. Also around that time I watched a Neo Theater concert recording and I was just amazed. Before that, I never thought a concert can be such theatrical experience. That's one more thing I liked about AJR. After that, I really become obsessed with them, and especially with the idea of visiting one of their shows. To put some of my obsession energy to use, I decided to make some sort of video, just for fun. The idea came to my head kinda fast. Since I'm a musician, I could make a cover. So I set up a laptop, sat next to my keyboard, and spent a couple of hours recording something. Then I edited the clips together, and then my parents were like, "What have you been doing for so long? Show us the result." So I showed them the video, and they were like, "This is really good, you should put it out on YouTube." It really wasn't that good, but I still believed them, And that's how I created this channel. Probably one of my best decisions ever. Also, OK Orchestra came out that month. I think I don't have to tell you that I've been listening to it a little too much. So I kept making content and my channel has started growing, and then I came across a guy who makes AJR covers as well. His name is Isaac Gordon. But that wasn't like, oh, we've got a competition here situation. No. It was actually kinda cool to find out about people who are also into AJR. So I joined Isaac's Discord server. It's probably my second best decision ever. Here's why. Nearly right after sending my first message, I got a friend request. I didn't think about it much, we just exchanged our hellos and that was it until... I started wondering how many people in Russia even know about AJR. So I opened Isaac's server again, since it was, I guess, the only AJR community I've known at that moment, and I started searching for keywords such as Moscow, Russia, etc. That's when I found this message. So I texted this person to double check, and I found out that we live in the same city. And then I found out that this person was following my YouTube channel. I can't even express how speechless I was at that moment. I had like 200 subscribers at that time, and one of them was in my city. What the hell? So then we started chatting a lot, every day, but it was really fun. By the way, we're still friends, which is really cool. One day I decided to make a live stream of me editing a new cover video. I didn't even know English that well, so it was a bit of a weird stream. No one was really watching it, except for one person. At some point of the stream, I was reading the chat and I saw this message.
Will you be going to any of the OK Orchestra concert? Yes, and I hope AJR will come to Moscow. I saw in stories in Instagram that it will be Europe tour dates, but I don't know what does it mean, like, is a continent or they are coming to Moscow, really? October 20... What? Are you fucking kidding me? Wait. Oh my god, guys. Oh my god. Oh my god.
But at that moment, I didn't pay attention to the year of the concert. That's why I was a little too happy. I thought they'd come to Russia in a month, which didn't make any sense. But the date actually said 2022. I bought the ticket and I started waiting. I was like, what's another year to me? Whatever, I can wait. Boy, little did I know. Days went by, I've been constantly thinking about this concert. Through my first AJR fan friend, I found one more from Paris, France. So we started vibing in our group chat together. Finally, a year of concert and nothing else, right?
Russia has invaded Ukraine.
La Russie vient de déclarer la guerra a l'Ukraine.
Esta madrugada Rusia ha atacado a Ucrania.
Vladimir Putin ordina l'attacco all'Ucraina, mentre è in corso il Consiglio di sicurezza dell'ONU.
ウクライナ軍とロシア軍の戦闘はロシアと国境を接するほぼすべての地域で行われているとし
우크라이나에선 탈출 행렬이 이어졌고 미국은 국제사회가 강력한 제재를 통해 러시아의 책임을 물을 것이라고 밝혔습니다.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции.
I don't even wanna describe what I've been feeling. I was just devastated. I had been wanting to go to an AJR show for a year now, and my dreams were just shattered. Of course, I don't blame AJR for canceling the show. There's someone else to blame in all of this situation. And of course, I was devastated not only because of the show, but rather because of the whole situation in general. So almost instantly, I thought I needed to see that show in another country. And since I recently made a friend in France, the choice was kind of easy. I bought the ticket for concert in Paris and started planning my trip. Since there are no direct flights from Moscow to Paris, the plan was to go to St. Petersburg by train, then use a bus to get to Tallinn, Estonia, and then fly to Paris. It was a very cheap way and I bought all of the necessary tickets. The only problem was scheduling a visa appointment since there wasn't a lot of available slots until... Estonia stopped letting Russian tourists in. My plan was fucked. Now the other options were just too expensive and I still wasn't able to make a visa appointment. So I had to suck it up and cancel the whole thing. I was just hoping there would be more opportunities to see AJR soon. Sweet summer child. Some students and some teachers at my school decided to make this school year much better and play a concert. So obviously I suggested Sober Up as one of the songs, and my teacher was just amazed with it, so... we played it, and people liked it. Then we formed a band, and for the rest of school, we've just been rehearsing different songs by different artists a lot, and sometimes we'd make a concert. That made the whole waiting for AJR concert much easier. I found out that AJR were set to perform in Seoul, South Korea, which was kinda cool because it might be easier to go to South Korea than to some of the countries in Europe. But after figuring out the budget, I realized I had to wait for more before I can see AJR live. AJR released the Maybe Men, as well as their tour dates for the United States, and I was so ready to go to a show in Europe. I thought we'd get the European dates really soon. Still waiting for them, to be honest. I saw that AJR were coming to Seoul again. This time I was more positive, so I decided to try. And I woke up early on the day when tickets went on sale, only to see that everything was sold out. At this point I was kinda used to such shit, so I had to suck it up again and hope for the tour in Europe. I left a comment under this video on TikTok.
More. Tomorrow you'll be worlds away. Monsieur, sit yourself down and meet the best innkeeper in town.
And Adam replied. I was too stunned to speak. It was my first legitimate interaction with an AJR member. There was no news from AJR about the tour, so I decided to spend all of my money and see 21 Pilots show in Paris. You can find a video about it on my channel. The trip went great. For some time I even forgot about my obsession with AJR and became obsessed with 21 Pilots. But I wanted to go to Paris again, so I hoped that AJR would announce the tour soon. In the meantime, I started filming some content for the video about Paris. Time went by and it was the end of January 2025 and AJR still haven't announced anything at all. Like, now that I'm recording it, it's 31st of May 2025 and still no news from them. I should have just shut the fuck up about AJR not announcing anything. I saw a notification from Discord, so I opened it up and saw this. That was extremely surprising. I never thought AJR would play a show in China. I didn't have much money for the trip, but it was clear I'm not wasting another opportunity like this. I don't care that it's 3,600 miles away. I don't care that it's just a festival set. Just let me see AJR. I asked my parents if they wanted to go to China, which I knew they did, so it was even better because they would pay for me. Now I only had to figure out how to buy the festival ticket, which was hard since everything was in Chinese, so I had to take a bunch of screenshots and translate them with an app. Tickets were going on sale early in the morning, so I set up my alarm and I was ready. Okay, chat, is this real? Am I gonna see AJR or not? What the hell? 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 Let's go! Let's go! Before I knew if I would be able to buy a ticket, I left a comment under AJR's post on RedNote, which is like TikTok in China. And someone reached out to me telling how to buy it and also inviting me to a group chat of people who were going to this show. Basically, I made one more friend. But honestly, there were so many people in that group chat that I could call friends. For a couple of weeks, I've been doing a bunch of paperwork for the trip, but I so didn't mind because I was gonna see AJR and that was all that mattered to me. I hopped on a plane and 8 hours later I was already in Beijing, China.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beijing Daxing International Airport. Thank you for flying with China Eastern Airlines. See you next time.
I woke up and went to meet my Chinese friend I've been talking to online. So I just met this Chinese dude and we're gonna go to the AJR show together. But before we went to the festival, I needed to do something. The thing is, I waited for so long to see AJR, so at least I wanted to catch their attention somehow. I think the best way is to make a sign. So I opened up Photoshop, because if I drew that by myself, I would fuck it up. And I started thinking what could be the best option. And I came up with this. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. I placed an order at the place where they print different stuff, but they told me it would be ready only on the day of my flight. And because my flight was in the evening, I agreed to proceed with an order since I was positive I'd get it on time. But I didn't, so I had to print it in China. Luckily, I had a friend who helped me a lot. I remember how we walked in a bunch of different places trying to find one that had a larger format of paper, which is important for a sign, and I wouldn't have done it by myself, so thanks a lot to this guy. We ended up in some cool shop where a guy suggested some sort of flag material, which was even better because it was easy to fold. This sign was made in less than 5 minutes and it costed me around $2. For a record, the one I ordered in Russia, which took more than 3 days to make, costed around $5. After I got my sign, we went to a bus station and soon we had to get on our bus, since the festival wasn't really in Beijing, but it was kinda close. Still, it was a 2 or 3 hour long drive. We went in, By the way, the security was kinda surprised I came from Russia for the festival, and at first they couldn't figure out which numbers from my passport to check, but I helped them and they let me in. I was trying to save up the battery on my phone for the show, so I didn't film almost anything, but the vibe was super cool. A mom of one of the AJR fans invited me and my friend to their picnic blanket. She was actually a fan as well, and she made some stickers with different AJR album covers for us to put anywhere we wanted. So I made even more Chinese friends at this point, and they all actually spoke some decent English, which was cool. The son of the woman I just told you about even showed me his Duolingo where he learns Russian. He actually was 15 years old, but he spoke better English than I did in my 15 years. Well, you've just seen the clip. We spent hours talking about different things, and then we decided to go and find more AJR fans. That's where things got interesting. People were going absolutely crazy, either because I look European or just because I'm Russian. Some of them made some gifts for other fans, and I got a lot of those. I'll show them later. Some people even wanted to take a picture with me. I felt like I was more popular than AJR. Just kidding, but still, I absolutely loved it. It's such a core memory. Well, the whole day is, to be fair. When it was 2 hours until AJR set, I decided to secure my spot near the stage. And I definitely got one of the best options. Not like the first row, but still at the front. And then this happened. Oh my fucking... Fuck me. I'm actually shaking right now because we saw Austin. That's fucking insane. If I'm shaking like this after Austin, I will probably faint after seeing AJR. You might be wondering why I reacted that way. Here's the deal. It had been 4.5 years of constant thinking about AJR show, and when I saw Austin, I realized that this was actually happening. And it was only a matter of 2 hours before the whole era of my life would be done. I wanted to see the show, but I also was terrified because what am I gonna do next? I'll need to come up with some sort of new goal. Anyways, it was kinda boring to just stand there and wait for it to begin, so we started singing some random AJR songs.
But I can't know myself from feeling bad. When I feel like this week I'm sad. Way up, way up, way up to the moon. Boys got to know I got a bond like you. What the hell are you gonna do?
And something even ended up in AJR's story on Instagram. Then they rehearsed a song that was unreleased at the moment a bunch of times. It was finally a showtime and I became terrified again, but that's until I've heard this song.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Not AJR plane had to go. So we started singing along. So obviously I was really sad about not going to the show in 2022, especially because I really like Bummerland as an opening song, and I thought I'd never hear it live. And just imagine what I felt when I heard this. After that, I didn't film much, and even if I did, it was only circle videos on Telegram, because I was just trying to enjoy this moment as much as I could. My dream was finally coming true. My reaction was, well, kinda insane.
Chat, is this real? Jack, Ryan. This month, I got 7 haircuts, and now my hair is all gone. It's sad, but I'm thinking on for too long, so I keep getting haircuts. It's my whole summer, and I just can't wait. Cause the quicker I'm there, the quicker I'm saying, Bummerland, here I am. Better nix my summer plans. Bummerland, here is you.
The thing I was excited about the most is definitely this part.
Okay, I wanna see everyone hands up like this! Can you pass like 1, 2, 3, 4?
But you're running going up from here.
I was having the time of my life screaming the lyrics as loud as I could.
Watch your help me sober up. Growing up and make me numb. And I wanna feel something again. Won't you help me sober up? All the big kids, they got drunk. And I wanna feel something again. Won't you help me feel something again? How's it go again?
Then they played Yes, I'm a Mess.
I'm in it now. Could I start again somehow? Yes, I'm a mess. Yes, so I just got stressed in it on my head. So I start going on my life. They won't see me again. Cheers to the road and cheers to the work and cheers to the training test. I get in my guts when the sun comes up. But I like myself like this. I like myself like this. Why should I fix the shit I've done when I could just pack my shit and run? Delete every number from my phone. So long. I'll get new shirts cause mine don't stink. And I'll tell my boss what I really think. Yeah, I'm in it now, I'm in it now. Could I start again somehow?
And when they finished, I thought, that's my moment. And I went like this.
How you doing? You're good? No way.
My heart sank. I knew it was about me, about my sign.
Someone said, really? Is that the truth? Yeah. So here's a sign. It says, I flew 3,600 miles just to see your sets. Is that real? Did you exaggerate that a little bit? No. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, now we got to do a really good job. Yeah?
From where? Where'd you come from?
Yeah, where are you from?
Russia!
I'm hearing 1,000 different countries. That's right, I'm sure it's very far. I'll do the math later.
I don't even know what to say. The 15-year-old me would be just screaming, crying, throwing up.
Get out of the sun! Try hard to write a cool song. So I start with something simple like trying to put my shoes on. Now something kinda clicked, cause you relate a bit, but no one's gonna care about a shoe song. I try hard to write a cool song, but I gotta make it matter, so maybe I'll throw the news on. Could I relate the shoes to 2022, or maybe an election down in Tucson? I try throwing something cool on, so I'm listening to Kendrick and playing that swimming pool song. But why did I do that? Cause now I hate my track. I write it where I'll never write a cool song. But oh really, it's a cool song. There's so many better melodies, why do you need a new one? So stop writing a song, about writing a song. You're losing that attention, buddy, move on. What the hell? Tom sings on his best friend's song. What the hell you gonna do?
And then they played this unreleased song I've been talking about.
First time we've ever played this song on stage is for you. And it's a song called Betty. I really hope you're on my side. I really hope you get it, Betty. I really hope you're on my side. I really hope you get it. I tried to get my shit together. Now you wanna break us out, not ready for forever. I know she calls me sound now, your daddy calls me kid. I'm sorry I'm not man enough to face a boat like this. Don't read my last two messages, I barely slept an hour. So could you call me back? Hello, hello, I'm trying to work this out. I know your friends say when you know, I just don't know right now. But could you call me just a year or so? I'm straightening out my head. I know your friends say when you know. So baby, I know that. I really hope you're on my side. I really hope you get it, Betty. I really hope you're on my side. I really hope you get it.
I felt so special because I was basically among the first people to hear it. Then we skipped to the good part.
Ben, it's so hard. Can we skip to the good part?
And then Ryan showed us how they produced Bank.
Music, we like to experiment a lot.
Shut up, bitches, Ryan talking.
Try and find weird sounds that you don't usually hear in music. So listen.
To be honest, I've seen this way too many times before on YouTube, but it was still cool to see it live.
So me and Jack were on the subway one day in New York City and heard this.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
And we said, I wish we could get that guy to record on our song. And then he said,
you can.
And we said, really? And he said,
sure, I have nothing else to do.
Okay, can you say it?
Say what?
You know what? Can we hear it?
Hear what?
The line you say in our song. Can we hear it?
Oh, you mean this.
Here we go! I get up, I get down, and I'm jumping around, and the rumpus and rock is so comfortable now. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to go. Say, bang, 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 here we go. So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know this song. Everybody come
And then it was time for the final song, the song that basically started all of this story.
AJR will be back very soon, I promise!
No, thank you. Is what I should have said. I should be in bed. But temptations of trouble on my tongue, trouble's yet to come. Like, what's it bad for me? What's it bad for me? What's this bad for me? But I give in so easily. And no, thank you. Is how it should have gone. I should stay strong. But I wait, and what's wrong with that? Boy, oh boy, I love you when I fall with that. I wait, and what's wrong with that? Boy, oh boy, I love you when I fall with that. No, thank you. They call me after dark. I don't want no parts. And we wait for them. Can't wait to fall again. Sing. What's it bad for me? One kiss bad for me. One kiss bad for me. But I give it so easily. And no, thank you. It's how it should have gone. I should stay strong. But I wait. What's wrong with that? Boy, oh boy, I love you when I fall. But then I will go. But I will. And what's wrong with that? Boy, oh boy, I love you when I fall.
And of course we got the marching band ending.
What's wrong with that? Boy, oh boy, I love it when I fall for that. I'm late. And what's wrong with that? Boy, oh boy, I love it when I fall for that.
So now I want to show you what I got from the other fans as a souvenirs. This one is just a postcard from China. Then I got some Karma bracelet. This one is like fan-made ticket to the festival. Next we got the world's smallest violin. I also got 2 postcards like this. It has some info about AJR and about the song. This one is the world's smallest violin, and this one is the good part. Then I have those cards. Honestly, they're amazingly cool. Next we got those 3 like keychains, I guess. They look so cute, like I guess they're like baby AJR. Next we have a bunch of printed like pictures. The girl who gave me that, I asked her how much should I take, and she said all of them and gave me this. So there's generally like single colors, EP, just AJR picture, and then some album covers. Okay, someone also drew this one, and wow, I was totally amazed when I saw this one. And from some other person we have this one. We've got some more keychains. This one is just Neo Theater, and this one is The Main Demand. Also this keychain. And also this keychain, you just have to put the chain inside and it opens. Wow. And there's like a CD inside. You can take it out and put it back. This keychain also very cool, very nice. And also this keychain, which is like I want vinyl sort of. We've got some stickers as well. Really cute. We've got some cards with AJR. It looks super cool, and there are the mini versions of them here. Some more cards. And this one is Sober Up, and I don't think I have to say it each time, but the designs are super cool. I would never be able to draw something like this. Okay, we also have a bunch of stickers here. And last but not least, we got this envelope with something. I haven't really looked inside. Okay, first of all, we've got some snack, like candy. Can't be sure what that is. Oh, this is nice. It's sort of like a post. This one is even transparent. Okay, and the last thing is a Polaroid photo. It's me and my Chinese friend and also my other Chinese friend who I met while we were waiting for AJR, and his mother brought us the stickers for our clothes. Yeah, it's really nice. That's a lot of stuff, but I'm thankful. Community here is very friendly and welcoming. So right now you're probably wondering if I'm happy, because my dream finally came true after 4.5 years. And here's what I can tell you. The 15-year-old me would be just drowned in serotonin right now, but I'm an adult who has to go through a lot of stuff on a daily basis. My emotional state is much different right now, and just an hour-long AJR show won't do a lot as much as I'd want it to work like that. So to answer this question, no, I ain't happy yet. Fun fact, Jack noticed me again. This time on Instagram, which has never happened before. When they said they're releasing an EP this summer and it's quote-unquote coming soon, I instantly knew that it would be like the last Friday of the whole summer, since that's how AJR usually do it, especially with the tour dates. And then they confirmed my theory, so I posted a story on my Instagram saying stuff like, "You guys are so predictable," and I tagged all of them. So Jack saw this story and it's kinda funny. Alright guys, it finally happened. Thanks for being with me on my way to this dream, and thanks to AJR for making such a great impact on my life. That's it for today. Make sure to follow my channel to see some more content in the future, like this video and leave a comment about your first AJR show, or maybe share some AJR related stories. I'm curious to read them all. See you soon!
Wish I was me, whoever that is. I could just be and not give a shit. Hey, I'll be whatever makes you fan, 'cause I don't know who the hell I am. I think it's too late to figure this out. If I could be me, I would have been it by now. Maybe I'm a stone, or big is my house. It looks like our time is running out. So if this is me, then I'll do my best. I'll take all the shit, so you never have to. You can be you, and I'll be the rest. Yeah, maybe that's who the hell I am. You gotta get better, you're all that I've got. Don't take forever, you're not here for long. You gotta get better, you're all that I've got. But don't take forever, you're not here for long. I gotta get better, I'm all that I've got. For 2 or 3 minutes